So we're sitting there like,
Yeah.
Fnatic struggling, but then all of a sudden, they finish with their record, and and now they're here in the winners finals on the verge of going to TI. So clearly they found something and it's working pretty well. So.
Yeah. Well, we've got a Game 1 draft. So Fnatic versus Clutch Gamers. Best of 3. Winner goes to TI. That is what is at stake here. It's kind of hype. We've had like back-to-back games that have decided TI slots. We came off, obviously, the end of the SEA group stages yesterday. We had Secret qualifying, and we just came off NP taking down Freedom to secure a TI slot. So we go from one deciding match to another. This in a different region. But as said, winner of this does qualify since SEA does get the additional slot compared to some other regions.
That's the plus side of having all the chaotic and like ridiculous amount of matches, is that when you get down to the playoffs, it means that it's just one after the other of really cool games. And kind of wondering if we're going to see Fnatic go for that Underlord again that they ran through in their first couple of games.
Or if it may even be banned out, but we've seen teams worried about the IO of Fnatic that's still left in the pool. Underlord will be banned. What are some of the kind of key heroes in your mind, Lumi, that we should expect to be seeing in this series?
I think the key heroes are more so on the side of Fnatic in terms of dictating a tempo. So think of Clockwork, Sand or even the Bloodseeker. Both these teams are the teams that have been playing Bloodseeker. Also, a hero for Fnatic I'd like to see is the Necrofalls. Could kind of go well in either direction, right? He's good in its scrappy game because once he gets a kill, that regen allows him to kind of push forward and get more kill. Or if you kind of slow down in a game, once you get into the later stage of the game, an Axe, Reaper, Scythe, that's how you end games. So Clutch will open things up.
Reaper, Scythe? You still got buybacks though.
I mean, yes, but then it's like
that's what you're saying.
One kill into another. The cooldown is so
the chain pickup, the chain Reaper.
Especially on those supports, who may not have the buyback at those times, at 20, 30 more seconds even. It really adds up, and there you go, Lumi right on point. Clockwork Bloodseeker.
You said key heroes in their Fanatics. All right, Lumi. Just calm down, okay?
Okay.
We still got 3 games. You got to predict.
I'll save it a little bit for game 2 and game 3.
You're spoiling the viewers here. It's almost like you are. Like
I came from the future. We are in the TI time traveling hub.
All right, so the viewers out there betting their rares, who's going to take this series then?
Clutch in 2.
Clutch in 2. Okay. Bold prediction.
Clutch in 2, huh? That is bold.
Fanatics turn
no, I just threw that out because I like Clutch. I like Clutch.
Okay, fair enough.
Spoilers. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna have a bit of a conflict in this cast because I'm a bit of a Fnatic fan. Like we all have our teams. Like we break bench with Cole. I mean, this cast is like you quote unquote unbiased during a cast, but you still have teams that you're friends with these guys. Like Fnatic, some of those guys are the first guys I met at LAN events back in Dota 1. They've always been like a special team for me. So
Fnatic in this like iteration is like an all-star team, isn't it? Like everybody's a household name.
Yeah, pretty much.
Except for maybe Ajit, but he was like one of the newer breakout players of the past year.
I remember looking, it was the Boston Major, I believe it was, when I was kind of researching for that and getting ready for that event. And at that time, he played for Warriors Gaming Unity. And I remember looking at stats across the board of the players, and Ajit's stats were ridiculous. I believe he was the highest GPM average of any of the players going in as far as that's concerned. So. I think this is a very strong pickup for Fnatic, and it's clearly proven to work out pretty well for them. So
he carried my fantasy team for that event. It's pretty great. Yeah, I think that it's like a lot of those teams that come together with superstars. Sometimes you have trouble gelling, but they've kind of found, I think, a good rhythm for themselves, and I think that particularly following QO's lead, or at least that style of play's lead, and all coming together under the same umbrella of thinking for how they want to take the game. And I'm wondering if we end up seeing another Febby Pudge. I think that's something that worked incredibly well for them last game. And it doesn't even necessarily need to be a melee core like a Sven to go against it for it to work well. Anybody is going to get ruptured and hooked.
5 seconds remaining.
Some sick, nasty combos with the Bloodseeker Ruptures for sure. The Tusk will not be an option. They get a Witch Doctor. Guess the limiting factor may be this Clockwork, whether they're planning on running it in a 4 position or offlane. We've seen a bit of both, but we have seen a bit more of the 4 position Clockwork from what I've seen, so that may limit their ability to pick a Pudge.
Yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
I'm also wondering if Sand King could still be an option here for Clutch Gamers, actually, running more of the Nyx in the offlane here instead in that 4 position. Sand King, he's such good value, I know, across the board. People love that hero. He's considered one of the highest, or best heroes right now in the meta, but do they really want to force that into the lineup, I guess you could argue.
Yeah, we've seen it even in the offlane. I think earlier today was Execration who picked the offlane Sand King, so Sanking, Nyx are kind of interchangeable. They're both great offlaners and great 4th-position heroes.
I think one of the problem, and one of the reasons why Bloodseeker is so strong currently is Bloodseeker thrives, to me, in a very scrappy kind of environment where you have long chases, fights going on for a long time, because honestly, Rupture is not good against a team that's all grouped up, that's ready for it. Rupture is very good when heroes are all spread across, when you got 1 or 2 heroes already in low HP. So I think one of the best way to counteract a Bloodseeker pick is to pick a really strong death ball that just like run at you. If somebody gets Rupture, okay, we're going to stand, you know, kind of regroup a little bit, make sure whoever gets Rupture does not get picked off easily. And you wait out the Rupture and you go again. I wonder if Clutch is going to go with that kind of strategy.
Is that not normally their kind of go-to strategy, you know, like the 5-man mid-game group up?
Yes, but the danger of that is like you just lose the lanes. Yeah, so that's kind of the pincer here.
Yeah, you can have that strat in theory. It counters the Bloodseeker, but if you lose your lanes, it doesn't matter if your mid-game strat's better or not.
Yeah. This, to me, also, the Fly Solo Rubik was just such a huge playmaker in the previous series that we saw from them, and we saw Gabby on the puck for a little while. I'm kind of feeling like this is going to be the position for Nyx, and in my eyes, I'm kind of worried about the laning stage. It's something that we've talked about for Clutch gamers more and more often. If they don't pick a really strong safe lane hero here to pair up with the Rubik, they might just get aggroed and run into some issues.
Omni, that's the Clutch Gamers classic 5-man Deathball hero. It was always like Omni Troll if you go back to like their heydays where they were dominating SEA. There was a lot of Omni, a lot of Troll, this 5-man Deathball. And Omni's okay, pretty strong in the laning stage. Don't think he's necessarily the best against Necrophos, because you can't really get in close to the Necrophos to get benefit from the degen aura.
I think this pick is really kind of their anti-Bloodseeker and anti-Necrophos pick, right? You see the Reaper Slice come in, you could repel, you could just give a burst heal. Greaves is going to come out, which playing against Bloodseeker, that silence is going to get you at some point in the game, so having access to Greaves is very powerful as well. And then now we're looking probably at, it might sound weird to say this, but I think we're going to see a mid hero for Armel now.
Same, yeah.
Gabby most likely will be playing the puck. You have Omni Knight being played by Rappy.
Oh, you think they're going to go for a safe lane puck?
Safe lane Omni Knight, off lane puck. At least that's how they ran it in the game against against the team that I just cast.
Oh, just because okay, you just. I feel like historically they used to always do the offlane Omni, but that may have changed recently.
So in that particular game, they paired up Armel as the invoker, and he basically played a carry essentially from the mid lane.
I feel like you really always want to have a defusal hero against Necrophos. Like that's to me is like the big way. If you try and gate the hero and he gets Ghost Shroud off and gets to just burst heal himself and you can't kill him off.
Okay, I could see that.
You either need a lot of magic damage to kill him in Ghost Shroud, which they don't exactly have. Like Puck is already maybe initiated. I'd love to see like a Jug or a Weaver. Weaver not great against the Bloodseeker, but you can also get the Linkens and then you're maybe fine against him. But I think the Jug is the big hero that stands out to me as being like a stable option for them.
So the other thing and the reason that they actually ran the Invoker against the Necro before without a Diff Blade carry, and the only reason that I'm sort of agreeing with Lumi on it is because the Ghost Shroud also slows you down a little bit. You get that Sunstrike out, or slows down other people around you. And I feel like oftentimes what happened in that game was a puck initiate, kill all the creeps, they keep them in place, and then the Rubik lifts out and it sets up for an easy Sunstrike kill because he breaks the tether on it. Now, again, it's sort of questionable if that's what they're going to go for, but that was the thought in their last series, and I don't know. Clutch Gamers might go back to it. It's weird, but it's their style.
I think with Invoker, too, sure, it's not a defusal option, but magic damage in itself is obviously going to be good against Necro despite the Ghost Shroud, and then even more to that, Nyx Assassin with a Sunstrike setup.
All right, there it is.
I think this is the more standard pick that Parker is referring to. The puck mid. Not exactly a defusal play carry, but yeah, the way to beat in Bloodseeker is like, I get Rupture, who the hell cares? We're going to stand here as 5, you come in, you try to come in, and if you do come in, we have the Eclipse.
It's not a defusal hero, but it's a hero that has magic damage, so you actually kill the Necro if he Ghost Shrouds with the Eclipse.
Right.
Same thing with the Bloodseeker, he runs in at you, you're Ruptured, you've got the Eclipse as a defensive tool. I really like what they've got, because even Omni, if he's in the Blood Ray, he can Guardian Greaves it off, then repel the Luna, get rid of that silence. You've just got a very defensive lineup that is totally okay with Fnatic trying to snowball and run at you and just play this hyper-aggressive Dota that we've seen from them.
Yep. I think that's going to be funny to watch this game. I really wonder if QO is going to run at one point with Blood Rage when Luna's super low, die to like an Eclipse, and then heal Luna back up to full HP.
That's not what you want to see if you're Fnatic, but definitely something that could happen. See what Fnatic. I feel like Fnatic want like another core in the offlane, like some actually scaling hero. At least a hero that's going to use a lot of farm, whether it's like a big team fighter, like a Tide, Faceless, with the Bloodseeker, Bloodright could be really nice. Yeah. The other hero we just saw a higher play was the Nature's Prophet. That's a decent scaling hero that can be kind of aggressive, but at this point I think they may want something more team fight oriented.
Time to think about it here, but yeah, Faceless stood out to me right off the bat when you suggesting that at least. So.
Ursa Warrior.
Ooh, they're gonna do. Okay. Who's the actual higher hero here?
Are they gonna do offensive like with
a higher
Necro?
Yeah. It's not gonna be a solo Necro in offlane. Like he needs definitely help from Clockwork at least.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Rubik is like okay.
They're gonna solo against the Ursa and Omni, right?
Yeah, this was the pick that it was VP who kind of popularized as the Omni quote-unquote counter. At the Kiev Major, because they were versing, like they had two Chinese teams back to back in the actual bracket, and both the Chinese teams were all running offlane Omni, so they just kept picking Ursa as a counter pick to the offlane Omni.
I don't know if I love it completely, because I feel like the tri-lane from Clutch Gamers is pretty strong. Like a Rubik against the Clockwork to keep people out of cogs. Nyx isn't like the best in the world, but he's got decent regen. You got all this bonus damage. I just wonder if Fnatic wins that lane of Necro, Witch Doctor, and Clockwork.
Alright, so you're thinking Clutch Gamers for game number 1, Gabe?
I think so.
Breaky, what are your overall thoughts on this one?
I don't know. That is tough. I mean, I want to lean towards Fnatic, just simply mix of momentum, but also the lineup, the final pick of the Ursa right there. I think even though it's the Omni Knight with the Guardian Angel, response could be a little unfortunate for him to deal with, but you know, you could perhaps get a Diffusal Blade to help take care of that, and thus it not being an issue. So I'm gonna lean towards Fnatic.
Okay. Well, that will do us for our draft, as me and Lumi will be hopping ourselves into game number 1 of Fnatic versus Clutch Gamers. Lumi, one of these teams gets to go to TI. You hinted it might be a 2-0 because Clutch Gamers.
more of a pick with a heart, but so in terms of the draft, I feel like both teams are going for totally different playstyle in the mid game, right? We talked about Clutch Gamer grouping up as 5, going for a death wall strategy. And for Fnatic, they're going for a very single target-oriented pickoff strat. Great smoke break here by Fnatic. That smoke is...
He planted the ward to try to get vision for a lip, but Febu was already out too. May have seen the ward get planted even.
I don't think so, unless he was like, has the inventory selected of Rubik's.
Yeah. I mean,
or whoever.
Yeah, I mean, once you click to run, you don't have to micro your hero at all. You're just running. But it's unlikely, I agree.
So back to Fnatic's kind of play style in the mid game. I think they're all about kind of like going for very similar to their game against Execration, where it's like scrappy fights. Hopefully everyone for them is all spread out, and that's where you have the single target spells of Rupture, Hook, or even the Reaper Scythe to pick off fights. I think if Clutch Gamer could start off the fight with all 5 together, they win. If Fnatic pick off 1 or 2 in the beginning of the fight, then they win. So to me, this game is all about execution.
Lane swaps coming out from Fnatic. Ohio is starting towards the top lane, is now swinging bottom. Arjit going from bottom to top. Seems they were unsure where and how they want to lane this. I think they really want to get this Ursa versus Omni matchup. Yeah. But it looks like it won't just be Omni. Boombax at least is near this top lane. Gets scouted out by the Ursa, and will be headed towards that mid lane. Perhaps just not really a lane. Yeah, let's say you don't want to go mana burn versus the Bloodseeker, but you do want to come in and help secure this lane. QO dominated mid last time he played this Bloodseeker.
You know, it wouldn't surprise me if we see a little bit of a musical chair lanes a little bit. I think it's important for the Omni to keep dodging, but for now, Rappy is going to grab a little bit of experience under the tower.
I think last time it was, what, Bloodseeker versus Lina, and QO had like 20 CS, 15 denies, so like a 6-3 of Lina.
Right.
Great cogs use so far from Febby, hitting Armel twice with that already, burning some of his mana. But Boombax is just here, throwing in Pales when QO goes for last hits, trying to harass him as much as possible. Will probably force a salve out. You try and get away without buying a salve sometimes on this mid Bloodseeker since you've got the sustain from Blood Rage, but they're trying to make that not possible.
I don't think they're going to be able to force it out. QO is going to be keeping fresh. I think the key thing out of all of this is that Fnatic got 2 range creep denies on the mid lane. So once QO will be able to get those 2 to 3 range creep kills, he's going to shoot a little bit ahead in terms of experience.
Yep. Bit of animation lag. I don't know if you're getting that as well.
Good for me.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I had. Top lane Arjit. Wow, Omni's Got a solo kill almost.
Oh my god, is this happening?
Oh, he turns it though. Doesn't try and chase. He can't really chase into the boots plus degen, but
yeah.
Well played by Arjit. Rappy himself does not have a salve, so he's going to be in a bit of trouble up here. Trying to farm a bottle, which you can buy from the side shop, but you only get the single charge.
And any like second that he spent in this low HP is powering Q up in the mid lane through Thirst. Meanwhile,
bottom lane,
tons of fighting going on. DJ
this
should die here, right?
They got the first blood, even though Clutch Gamers rotate down all 3 heroes. It will be a 2-for-1 trade. First blood going to Ohio. I say a 2-for-1 trade. There we go. They'll get the last. Ohio's already TP'd back in with boots, but won't find much more than that. I feel like there's kill potential in all 3 of these lanes. Maybe less so the mid lane now that it's a straight up 1v1.
Well, good luck with the camera work, guys.
Yeah. You know, I'm just saying that to kind of bail myself out, you know, for missing kills. Like,
yeah, sure.
Kill potential in all 3 lanes, Luke. Don't worry.
One of the Q potential in the mid lane. Armel is already dropping low. So Q, like one of the strengths of Bloodseeker is that if you don't absolutely take care of your HP, he has boots. So right, he just runs at you. And doesn't matter if you're a puck or not. You're not going to outrun Thirst.
We see again the domination of this mid lane from a Bloodseeker. Actually seems like one of the... From what it feels like, at least time we've seen this qualifies, that Bloodseeker is actually one of the heroes that can be used mid and kind of to pseudo counter some of these squishy pucks and Linas because you just run at them.
And
like,
he almost like draws attention of like 2 heroes. Because if you don't have 2 heroes, then your lane is done.
Well, mid's kind of become this 2v2 as well, so he actually gets... Like, in a 2v2, Bloodseeker can't really chase people down because he doesn't have stuns, but when you've got a Clock or a Sand King or a Nyx there, suddenly that puck or Lina is actually in a very squishy position.
Right. Also, I've been seeing a couple of Bloodseeker games where they don't have like a great start, like that Kyo is having right now. But it doesn't matter because at a certain point, you're going to get 1 or 2 Rupture kills. And you have so much impact, even if you don't have the best items.
Bottom lane, looks like they're going to trade some kills here. Ohio loses his support. Witch Doctor is still looking for this kill. It's going to be close. Maledict's
not going to be enough. He's going to be able to... Yeah, he's
Ohio,
okay.
can he get away from this one? Has the Ghost Shroud. Will not want to... Actually uses and gets Lucent Beam. That's probably the worst case scenario.
Yep.
Probably just trying to get some extra regen from some Tangos there, but it backfires.
So Necrophos is one of those cores I think needs to have a good start because he is, to me, somewhat snowball-based, especially if you're playing him in a core position like this. You want to, pick up either Dagon or Blink Dagger or some sort of items that can help you get further kills. Although this is an off-lane one, so maybe he's going to offer something like a mechanism.
They hit the Impale, the silence is there. Orb is going to be off the mark, it looks like. Q, can he run back in? He can't. The tower shot boom backs. No.
Oh,
tried to get the Roche, doesn't make it.
And now,
oh god. Q, can he get this kill? That could have healed him up. It looks like he didn't actually get much heal out of it, but
he'll get heals from creeps.
Yeah, he's fine. He doesn't need to leave this lane, and Rubik will not be able to zone him out. Top lane, meanwhile, Ursa, Brown Boots, Orb of Venom. This is pretty. This is like such a weird 1v1 lane because Omni doesn't get crushed in this lane by any means. The degen does help protect you quite a lot, but Ursa similarly does tend to free farm.
Yeah, you can't get close to the Ursa in the mid lane. Sorry, in the 1v1 lane. So I do want to talk about that mid fight that just happened a little bit. That fight showcased why Bloodseeker is so strong because they try to do a gank onto him, but if you don't get the kill, and since you're tower diving, you're going to be so low, he gets that burst of movement speed that could just turn around the gank like we just saw there. So you got to be damn sure that you get a kill when you're ganking Bloodseeker.
Fnatic have looped around bottom lane. They want to try and find some kills on this Luna before she perhaps gets that level 6. And good angle coming in. Maledict lands. They do need to hit some of these stuns here. The cast's going to bounce around. Hits the Luna once. Doesn't even look like they're going to need to bounce back as Ohio does get the last hit for that one. Laning stage, you see the CS. It looks overall very good for Fnatic. All 3 lanes being won by them in terms of CS. They're getting some kills now as well. It's actually a 2k gold plus lead already.
Yep.
But this was kind of like the summary, what we talked about coming in. Fnatic, a team that wants to dominate the early game, win the lanes. Clutch Game is much more a mid-game teamfight focused draft. Should Clutch Gamers be concerned about how the lanes are going, or is it going to be okay for them, do you feel?
I think this is kind of the expected result, like you mentioned. You got to look at Fnatic's lineup and say, like, what the hell is their objective taking heroes, right? They don't push towers. Think about high ground in a situation for Fnatic. Now, we did say earlier, Fnatic, high ground is killing all of you.
Yep.
So, knowing that Clutch Gamer, all they got to do is make sure that they're making fights go a little bit better. So, to answer your question, it is going poorly, but they have ways to play around this. Just make sure you don't die in the mid-game, and you should be okay.
Necro actually deciding he can't really...
mid lane Armel, I think he is ruptured, and he is...
Rip gets pushed. They haven't got a hook or a War's kick this game, but the Cox push is a nice little bit of damage. Top lane, where eyes were previously, is where Fnatic were rotating 3 heroes. Ohio actually coming up here with the Ursa, and they will team up to bring down the Rubik. A couple more kills go their way.
It looks like the TP from the Luna is also forced. They do want to do a little bit of lane swap. So Gabby having a little bit of trouble in the bottom lane. I mean, imagine if he was level 6 there, right? Where he TPs in and fires off the Eclipse and gets a kill.
Was he already top, or did he just TP?
I think he just ported in. Probably he was intending to port in anyways to switch to the lane.
Yep.
But the point stands that if he had a better bottom lane, he might have turned that fight around.
There is Dream Coil up now, but to kill this Bloodseeker, I feel like they're going to need at least 3 heroes. I think the other crazy thing about this Bloodseeker is level 6, level 7, he's already got over 1,000 HP. He's very tanky, and you do need to invest a lot of heroes, considering he's got a range drop to actually try and gank and bring it down.
And a magic wand. I mean, wait till he gets to level 10. Like, he is almost unkillable in that situation.
They jump to like close to 1500 top lane. They're going in on Ohio. He does Ghost Round Magic Wand up. He's picked up a casual cloak as well, looking to turn it around. Nice Impale does land from Boombags. But Ohio is tanky. He needs the Reaper kill if he wants to get some extra heals coming in. Gabby, as he said, no Eclipse. This is going to cost him. Ohio, can he get the Reaper? He does not get credit for the kill. That really hurts him.
They see Fly Solo thanks to the Bloodseeker, so they get the extra kill on top of that.
This one does go to Ohio. There's the regen. Plus 52 HP and mana regen.
Look at that build. He's going to go into Rod of Atos earlier, but those bracers definitely made the difference there.
I think this is like the build. You just go these utility items for the team. Bloodseeker and Ursa are the damage. You just want to frontline and soak up as many spells as possible.
I mean, there are different ways of frontline. Like, I think earlier today, the team I just cast now, Fnatic? No. Mineski. Went, solo kill attempt on the mid lane.
Huo, he was ready for that. He's like, you're going to go on me? I'm just about to get some heals.
Right, so the Necrophals in that game went for Hood, which is a different way of tanking up, especially against heroes like Pug and Luna. But this game is going to be the Rod of Atos. So
well, he's getting the Hood with double bracers into Hood.
So
and then he's going
double protection, no problem.
Yeah, then he'll go back for that Rod of Atos later. It's a pretty big, expensive jump. Whereas the Hood is like 1800 gold, and you get a huge amount of survivability because you get the extra cloak ability or whatever it's called as well.
Oil being expended on the mid lane. They are getting desperate. This is a 4-man gank attempt. They are going to get the kill, but they need to get a tower off of this to make this kill happen. Or, worth it.
Imagine they aren't going to get this. Maybe some damage at most. But Febby is ready with a hook shot.
Oh, what a hook.
Yeah, catches 2 inside the cogs as well. They'll try and break their way out, imagine, but Cask is there.
Okay.
Rappy with Repel could also guide people, and they're going to look to turn this one around. Can they kill Arjit? Doesn't look like it. The Reaper will not finish off Fly Solo. Needs some magic damage to go through this GA. Ohio's going to Ghost Shroud himself up on the front lines, getting fairly low. Needs to be a bit careful here. He's still alive, though. Throwing out those heals, keeping his team nice and healthy too.
Oh, Bloodseeker's in. Look at his movement speed. Go, race car. Rupture on one. Rappy is going to be dead, I think. No, he heals himself up. Okay, looking pretty good. Impale trying to turn down the fight. Here comes that Eclipse. Is going to get up the kill. That is a key one against the Bloodseeker. That's 2 kills in a row. And now Luna perhaps still staying in the fight. Armel has some decent mana pool left, especially with a full magic wand. He's looking to bait a little bit more. Boomback's going to go down. A heal bomb gets the one more. And now they want DJ. DJ should go down as well. This is the mid-game fight to swing things around, and in that fight, you see the power of Omni Knight versus Bloodseeker. Against any other hero, Bloodseeker gets that kill, and then just runs to like clean up the whole team. But
even the initial hookshot in, like the Omni Knight saves them there. He's able just to get them out, he repels, and then he Guardian Angels. Like the Bloodseeker respawning and not being able to kill him is one thing, but I think the earlier stuff, Omni was huge.
Yeah.
CG, like they just love when Fnatic run at them. Once they've got levels and farm, as we saw there on Omni Knight, they're much stronger. Hookshot in, will catch Fly Solo. Does have a lift. I was about to say he waited.
Oh, the heal!
He was trying to bait.
Well, here comes Ajin, and everyone's dead. The Rupture this time.
That's not good. He's got no repel or heal.
Armel, he needs to orb out right now. He orbs actually towards his teammate. Jabaited, perhaps? Yeah, Febby's going to come down here. And that is a good turnaround. Now, despite the fact that Clutch Gamer did win that somewhat big engagement, they need to slow the tempo of the game. The only reason they win that engagement is because of Eclipse. So I think it's time to pump the brakes a little bit, wait for the cooldown, and select a better fight later on.
Yeah, I'm definitely on board with that. And we'll see how Fnatic look to play while it's down. It's just about a 1-minute window without Eclipse, so may eye off something like a Roshan, but no Morbid Mask on Arjit. He's actually not all too farmed on the Ursa himself. Is 3.5k net worth, but
I mean, if you look at the net worth differential between him and his laning opponent, the Omni Knight, like, you expect an Ursa to be further ahead.
Well, that fight perhaps the mid lane helping turn things around for the Omni, who is queuing up a Midas, perhaps just eyeing off the late game. He is getting ganked here, but it's going to be the Rubik who gets ruptured up. Omni doesn't even try and save him. I like that call. Just, you could have gone in, thrown a heal and a repel, but chances are it's going to die anyways, and you will join him in death if you get caught.
Oh my god, he really wants a bounty rune. He gets it, but perhaps a little bit greedy. No,
they got no catch without the hook shot, it looks like.
Oh my god, Rappy, okay. Rappy like just runs past multiple heroes, now gets an illusion rune in the river. No respect whatsoever. Meanwhile, Ohio gets a tower, and you can see that Armel trying hard to even things up.
They're trying to take towers while defending towers on the Fnatic side. They get the bottom tier 1, but they've got to now focus on defending top and mid. Top is under control of the Ursa, although Boombax has rotated in with a Vendetta, and a lot of Clutch Gamers heroes are collapsing on this top lane. Yeah,
but Luna right now is trying to shove the creep wave in, and they could pincer him and get a kill under the tower.
They know he just TP'd, so he's actually trapped up here.
Oh, I believe that. Oh god, yeah, they saw the Nyx assassin, and now the Rainbow TP is coming in. This is not the fight. Sack the Nyx if you must. It's time to get out.
He may just look for a TP on out. The tower range, he's just out of it. Gets hit by the Malix, and there's a sentry. But they still get away still. If he gets, he's gonna be out of sentry range.
Oh, but he doesn't know that. Is he gonna just pour it out like this? Sure. All right.
Good play.
Clockwork Hook, maybe cut a couple of people off.
I think overall, Fnatic still achieved what they were looking to do. They wanted to take towers while defending towers, and they do just that. So I think even though they had to like double TP top and they don't get a kill, it's still ultimately a success.
Veil into a coil, the Bloodright trying to keep himself alive. Well,
he's going to get saved by Clockwork.
Okay.
Two-man Cogs doesn't go for a rupture. It looks like he just doesn't want to turn around. No shrine to fall back to. At least not as far as healing himself back up. And QO, with an Urn Charge, will be healed back to at least reasonable HP. And they defend this mid lane without a hook shot. They do lack some initiation. And it looks like Fnatic are just intent on kind of trading towers. They're chipping away at this top one. It's still very healthy though, so they're not getting it in any kind of quick fashion here.
But at the same time, Clutch Gamer is making like no plays to actually defend the tower. I hear the Rupture going off. Looks like Fly Solo is going to pour it out. Speaking of which, Fly Solo is still level 4. We are 14 minutes in the game. He needs to just get a lane to himself, but every time he's got a lane to himself, he gets like ganked. Meanwhile, DJ looks like he will just get orbed down by Armel. Armel, throughout all of the Midas of Chaos, is 6-2, which is
not bad.
Very impressive.
Not bad indeed. So, I feel like I said this a lot, but this just feels like a really rough patch to play 5 position on sometimes. Getting your levels just seems harder than ever.
Yeah.
Mid tier 1 tower looks like it will be claimed now. Witch Doctor's still dead. Hookshot in a couple of seconds, but the tower will drop before anything can happen. Fighting into the Omni Knight is very dangerous and tricky at this point. Luna was not there, but could also TP in that mid lane. The tower's being very close.
Expended his orb, but now will get hooked, and this should be a Reaper kill. How actually lacking mana from it. A couple more points. Are they going to wait for it? Reaper's going to come through. Yeah, that's going to be good.
Did they have Arcane Boots, or he was just... Okay, it was a
He was very close. He was like at 165 or something, and he popped a Magic Stick.
Pretty big misplay, still.
Yeah.
Hurts that puck quite a bit. It was his Blink Dagger, though, so I guess he just wanted to... He got greedy, found one more creep wave to finish his Blink. Doesn't lose money, but still feeds away a pretty big kill. And
6 kill streak to Ohio.
Yeah, it does set Fnatic up to take this mid tier 1 tower now.
Oh, looks like they are going to make a rotation here. Now, the ward just got dewarded, so the Nyx should know that there are detection around the area.
He's lurking around in the side. He's going to throw an Impale. Needs to be careful here. There's no hook shot to worry about,
But this tower is very important. If they lose this tower, Ajit has a lot more freedom to take the Roshan. So that's why you see Clutch Gamer, despite losing the puck, they're making a huge play.
They're going to smoke up with the puck now. This blink could catch Fnatic by surprise. QO likely the hero they want to initiate on.
Tower's going to get denied, and you can see that neither team is still leaving the position of the area. That is a juicy coil if he can find it.
Phase blink in, goes aggressive, but only catches one with the coil, does not catch QO. And he's ruptured. He's in the Roach Pit. He gets repelled up at least. Won't get silenced, but QO can just right-click him down. He'll do so. Oh boy, that's not what they wanted, looming. Rappy could not bail his puck out of that situation.
He might be dead himself as well. The hook is not going to connect, but still. That is 2 kills. Tier 1 did get denied, but the true objective here, like I mentioned earlier, is going to be the Roshan. So
Dire's middle tower.
time to split up and farm, man. This is not the time to fight anymore.
Febby is level 10. This Clockwork has been incredibly effective, and he's 5-1 and 10. Holy cow, Febby's actually owning so hard this game.
Yeah.
And just the farm and levels on him is also pretty ridiculous at this point.
It's rare for me to see a game where Febby isn't owning. Like, he is the rock for Fnatic. No matter how poorly or how great his team is playing, he's also right there with them playing good.
It's weird because DJ used to be that like amazing full position player. I think he still is, but it feels like these are the roles that definitely suit Febby and DJ best.
Yeah.
With just how DJ just seems more consistent, reliable, which is what you want out of your 5, and you want that like risk-taking ability from your 4.
I wonder if we have a second here to talk about the draft a little bit, or not, because Ajit is...
So that's the Lumi. We don't get chances to talk
any
strategy, you know.
Yeah. But the 2-3 times that I've seen Fnatic draft Bloodseeker, they always draft double stuns under support.
Good top. They get punished for this. He's blood raged up.
Ooh, nice spike.
Fire BKB does do so.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like what happened to Armel mid. Buys his item, but feeds in the process, getting a bit greedy for an item. With that blood rage on, he melts
super fast.
40% damage increase. That was also how he melted early in that around that mid tier 1, even with the HP talent. It has the item he needs.
We'll take a tower in return.
See Ajit going straight for a defusal on Ursa.
Oh god, that's a brave TP in, man.
Oh, blink in from Ursa. Does repel himself.
Clockwork position to actually chunk people up here. It's going to be Fly solo. The level 6 Rubik, poor man, won't get Reaper, so he's got a lot of time to think about his choices now.
I don't know if it's worth using a Reaper there. It does increase the respawn time, but I feel like a fight could break out and you may want to have that Reaper now.
Oh, I think if Clutch Gamer gets the fight started like this, where 1 or 2 is picked off, they are not going to take a fight at all. They could only take fight as 5 strong. Now Rubik is probably the weakest part of that 5 men.
Yeah, it's more if he respawns and there's like a fight happening around his respawn. Right,
but Fnatic, of course, with the Scythe, should have enough time to...
Yeah. They're already kind of getting out now, and there's, unless you're TPing onto the shrine, in which case you're TPing in kind of to a dangerous ballsy position. Mass pipes, they're going double pipe it looks like. Clockwork has a hood, a pipe queued up, Necro has a pipe completed. This is very much to count. I mean, Puck Luna, the damage is all magic. Luna's a long way away from any physical damage. Omni has some pure damage, but ultimately, they know Clutch Gamers wants to like 5-man at them, and if you want to survive, you have double pipe. Suddenly, you actually may be able to hold your own.
Ooh, does not go for the courier snipe. It's going to just basically cut the creep wave. This is probably the best play that he could make. There's no way at this point Clutch Gamer could even think about fighting head on.
Do you think Clutch are even going to be stronger in these 5v5 with these pipes up?
If they could last this next 5 minutes without a fight and could itemize and push them, like Gabby's the most important player here. If he could push himself into some physical damage, then yes. Because these double pipe does have a lifespan essentially, right? Fnatic need to win, ideally in the next 15, or they're going to get outclassed eventually. Like, look at this Nyx. He's got a first item hand of Midas. This is like, you know, all the investment.
As does Omni. So they've got double Midas against, what, 0 Midas on Fnatic's side?
Right.
Oh, 1 Midas on Bloodseeker, but that's like the early game snowball Midas, not the let's farm for late game Midas.
And this is kind of what I touched on earlier. Both teams is going to have a vastly different playstyle and strategy, and it just comes down to, like, Clutch Gamer just want to voice fight, split push, and wait till the late game. Whereas Fnatic wants to go just find 1 or 2 pick off and just, like, you know, get them and win. So
everything is about early game here for the Fnatic side. Like very cheap cost effective items. Like just seeing Necro with like treads, double bracer, tanking up as much as possible, strength talent even. With a little bit of HP counts. They believe they do know Necro's bottom, so they may try and take a fight, knowing that it's 5v4. They all are TPing to this top lane, but problem is Rappy going to get engaged on here. Does get ruptured, can't really move, does have spells to play around. He's going to try and shrine up here. Doesn't really want to go for a solo Guardian Angel. May have to the south. Clockwork hooks in, catches Gabby. Omni's dead, as is the Nyx. And even though Necrophos wasn't here at the start of the fight, he's going to show up. Not even needed. 4v5. Fnatic win a team fight convincingly.
Yeah, Vision wins fights here. Omni Knight TP's in thinking he could go for a flank, but he was TP'd into Vision.
Yeah.
And as a result, he got isolated. His team was not in position. I mean,
it's not really a 5v4 when Omni's isolated like that.
Right. Well, half the team also didn't get there in time. Like if Gabby could let loose an Eclipse when your Omni was getting initiated like that, maybe they turned that fight. But he was also not there, so that was really like a 2v4 essentially in favor of Fnatic.
Yeah, and then they just found the additional pickoffs to follow. That really sets Clutch Gamers back, I feel.
Right.
At this point, you give up a lot of map control to Fnatic, having lost that tier 2 tower. You really do have to go all in on that split push and avoiding fights.
Yeah.
Now that you're lost that fight and you've got these Midases.
I think perhaps that's like the last big mistake that Clutch Gamers could afford to make.
Yeah, I'd agree.
One more, they are starting to lose some real estates. Again, the only saving grace that they got going for them is that Fnatic, not exactly the best team in terms of hitting buildings, going up high ground. And honestly, they're not that great at kind of stopping split push either. So in a situation where if you could split push like your TI3 alliance, I think Clutch Gamer in theory should win this game. But you know, like we just saw, mistakes can happen.
Just doesn't really feel like a patch or a game anymore, Dota, where you can just get away with this pure split push kind of strats anyways, as much as maybe you once could. Fly solo. Yeah, about that. He's going to look to bail out his puck, who is to the north. We'll see if the puck gets caught. Hook shot would have landed if he didn't blink out. Fly solo goes down. Puck does manage to escape.
Bottom? Maybe he could get a kill on Ohio?
You think you can kill this Necro?
Yeah, they smartly quickly realized that it's like, wait.
I think they'd have to use Eclipse, and even with an Eclipse, he may have lived.
Especially with all them creeps. They're thinking about it.
Yeah. Clear the creeps and then go for the kill?
This could turn bad like really fast.
Yeah. He does get the pipe off initially. Is he going to go for the Eclipse? He does. Needs to pipe. Go Shroud with the heals.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And now you lose Moonbacks.
That is...
Or maybe you don't lose Moonbacks?
Okay, he'll live. And they had zero chance of getting it without the Eclipse, and even with it.
BJ getting relatively low thanks to the puck. But, like, even though nothing happened in the last couple of minutes, I mean, Fly Solo died. But this is, I think, advantage to Clutch Gamer, right? Because they're drawing out the game.
Yeah.
And they're also drawing out in a game where they aren't pinned into the base. So they're not losing out too much in the net worth game. Yep. So
at the same time, I feel like Fnatic, they're obviously not going to be pushing high ground anytime soon. They don't have an Aegis. Second Roche, to me, is where Fnatic are at perhaps their biggest peak of the game. I mean, I think they can still go late game if they're ahead, like on gold, but realistically, that second Aegis is where they want to completely dominate the map.
So I want to talk about the Bloodseeker a bit. He's going for the exact same build that you casted a game earlier, which is the phase Midas BKB into the Radiance. Can you talk about your thoughts on it and whether it's a good build or not?
I mean, do you like it? You bring it up.
I mean,
want to hear your thoughts?
When you see such an early BKB, the word I would associate with it is risky, right? Because if you don't win a ton of fights to back up that BKB, it can just backfire. But it seems like the entire playstyle of Fnatic in this game is like double pipe BKB. Look, we're gonna win in the next 15, or we're not gonna win at all. So I really like the all-in aspect of it. And last fight, we saw Boonback trying to survive through spiking, and then, you know, Kyo just laughed and just killed him.
I feel Bloodseeker as a hero struggles without the fast BKB because you're versing this 5-man teamfight lineup. You can't actually play as a Bloodseeker, like Rambo Bloodseeker running in without a BKB.
Right.
So even though you go as your first item, it's kind of essential unless you want to play a passive farming Bloodseeker or like that gimmicky Dagon Spellcaster Bloodseeker, which is not going to win you a game, even though it may make you go 20-0.
I think the other big part of it is if you're looking to Rambo in and you have Blood Rage on yourself and you get stunned because you don't have BKB, you just die. So like that just gives you that further layer of necessity.
My feeling is the BKB is not as like risky maybe as you make it. I think it's like just an essential item, and you can still go late game even with the first item BKB. Yeah, so you're going to have a 5-second BKB, but it still gives you 5 seconds to hit everyone and not get blown up.
The other like early BKB you see from mid, I'm comparing it to something like a Dragon Knight BKB.
Yep.
Where if you go for a very early BKB on Dragon Knight, then he's suffering in terms of like damage output or initiation or something like that, right?
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Whereas Bloodseeker just have everything from his kit anyways.
Yes. He doesn't need that like mobility like the Dragon Knight needs, or he doesn't need a damage item because I think Bloodseeker does damage just through his spells.
Yeah.
He has movement speed through his spells, so he doesn't like a DK I think has movement speed and damage issues. So if you go BKB first, you fall off. Bloodseeker, you don't have those issues. So.
I mean, Clockwork is going to find Luna in the jungle here. He does have a Force Staff. She's up on the cliff.
Oh no.
Well,
That's an unfortunate place to find yourself. It's an odd little cliff spot, but...
So he used his Hurricane Pike on the Clockwork. Had he just basically double-clicked the Force Staff, I think he could have controlled where he pushed himself a little bit easier, but hindsight is...
Very easy. Easily the 20-20 there. They've got the Guardian Greaves on Omni, so he can at least get out of the silence now and look to help out his teammates with Repel, but here's Fnatic on the high ground. With a Luna kill and even a Luna respawning without Aegis, they feel confident right now.
Yeah, they got double pipe, right? Like you mentioned, all of the damage is magic. How do they actually make this defend? Puck is trying to be the hero. Rupture. Oh, that's a stolen Rupture. Yeah. Okay. I mean, do they care though? Fnatic's playing the 5-man lineup right now. They got the heal from Ohio.
Yeah, Ursa's fine. He can also ulti if he gets gone on, but he may need to.
Rupture is about running out. Kyo just going in. He still has that BKB, but they are all very low.
The Shrines are really kind of healing up Clutch Gamers. I think this is time to back if you're Fnatic.
Oh, dude, how did they kill Kyo? Kyo just like...
They Bloodright Carapace?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened, and of course he had Bloodright up, so that is 1 kill, 2 kill on 2 cores. Clutch Gamer defends without needing any buyback, and you gotta keep in mind they didn't have Luna for any of that.
Oh, unlucky for Clutch. Roche is on up, but they should know it's up in a minimum 10 seconds. It's almost the max respawn. If they can get this for themselves, that'd be huge.
Do they have enough damage for that, really?
Luna Mask of Madness, it's definitely there, but it's question. I mean, it's more about a timing thing. 25 seconds.
Well, Luna just activated Mask for a camp, and there's Rocket Flare, so I don't know.
They can potentially defend this. Clock doesn't have hook shot.
Now, the fact that Fly Solo have Rupture, does that kind of lean it in a direction? He does have Rupture, so that's kind of a big deal for against like Ursa.
They're going to respawn too fast. They've got to, I think, back off.
Yeah. Boombax is also very low in terms of mana.
I think they made a mistake. Luna scouted it, saw it hadn't respawned. Should have just stayed, because Roche was minimum like 15 seconds away from respawning. It was like a max respawn. And
well, he didn't know, right?
He should have known, though, because it was the max respawn.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying. Like, it couldn't have been more than 15 seconds of waiting.
That's fair. That's fair.
And instead, when Roche does respawn, he's at a neutral camp, and then it takes like an extra 30 seconds to get there.
It is a very chaotic game, so I would not fall.
Yeah, you may not. I mean, you write down Roche timer so you know like the window, but you don't think like, oh, it's actually respawning in 15 seconds because that's the max respawn.
Armel blinks forward, gets rooted. He can orb away.
Okay.
Oh god, is he gonna get hooked?
I think the hook shot was used elsewhere. I heard it. I think he hit a teammate.
He's got Yules and Blink.
Fox push.
Okay, Yules.
Should be able to blink to the north. He does do so. The Bloodright can
now they have vision on him now because of... Oh, he's gone. Wait. I mean, space critted, I guess, but...
Debatable. I think very highly debatable.
Yeah, he's got buyback, and that's the key thing, right? Luna did not have buyback the last time he died.
And they're going to have to address this bottom lane before they can push mid, I imagine. Lines are being drawn down mid, but this Luna can push very quickly bottom. Problem is, she also has to be wary of Clockwork rotation.
Man, like, Clutch Gamer is playing on a razor's edge right now. They are out of mistakes. Boombax, by the way, if he could finish this Aghanim Scepter, that is... Do you sell your magic stick? Yeah, sell your stick. Go. Like, you need this.
This is an Aegis push that could take a lane of Rax.
He sells sticks. He buys the... he needs to regen right now. And we might need a buyback on... well, he's got Aegis, so I guess Kyo doesn't catch him much.
Kyo gets ruptured, but yeah, that was just trying to use it before it expired. And we were going to BKB, but I'm not sure if that was the best time to do it. They want to kill this Axe Nyx. They know he's going to be such a problem if they don't. He is underneath the shrine. Can they burst him down?
Yes, they can.
Yep, and it goes the highest way. He's going to get all that regen, and Nyx, no buyback.
Yeah, Puck will come back right now. I wonder if he should have just bought back. They are going to lose at least one lane of Rax. There are no tier 2s on the other lane, so to keep going, Puck goes back, blows up the creep wave, so Eclipse can be a threat. They also are out of Shrine Juice at this moment. That last push pushed all out of it. So
I mean, they use those shrines to have a great high ground hold, but then the Aegis push comes. Yeah. Not securing that second Roche, I think, is going to come back to haunt Clutch Gamers.
All right, well, I guess it could have been worse for Clutch Gamer. It could have lost more buildings, but let's reevaluate the game again here. Like, does Fnatic have enough of an edge to just close out the game, or do you think...
You see the gold lead, it's pretty small right now.
Before taking a Rax, right?
It's under 3K now. It's like right at, there we go. It was actually Clutch Gamers favored before that. With Rax money and everything. Going late game, I mean, I think the nice thing is, you think their cores, like none of them are like, they haven't got the big 5-man team fight late game lineup, but they've still got 3 good scaling cores, Bloodseeker, Ursa, and Necro. Even if they are cores, like Ursa kind of theoretically falls off a little bit, it's not like they've got like a offlaner like a Clock or a Bat who's not going to scale as well.
Sure. I mean, scaling matters though if you have the gold to back it up, and in a more static game, I think Radiant just farms far more efficiently, farms faster as well, so that's something to be concerned about. I like how Rappy Guardian Grieves a creep wave up top because it was all going to die to a Radiance illusion that was just chasing around. So
no gold for you.
A little bit of something, I guess. But Fnatic going to push in the bottom wave. They still had the Aegis. And this time around, the Nyx Assassin needs to, again, make something happen.
Yep. Yeah, Aegis has still a good minute and a half or so. This Nyx got a little bit overzealous with his positioning there, and it's definitely the hero. If you're Fnatic and you can jump that Nyx and throw everything on him to kill him, it's well worth it.
I mean, it's easy, right? He's gonna be burrowed.
You can cogs push it. You can cogs push him out of the burrow, right? You hook him and then cogs push him.
I think he's just gonna be pushed around but still burrowed, I think. Because I know you could force staff the burrow form, and he's still gonna be in burrow form. So
rupture force staffs or something along those lines. Well, Nick's gonna go to the side. There's the cogs. He's gonna. Well, there's the hook.
He was not burrowed at all, so he just dies.
Not ready. Yeah, that was bad timing for Clutch Gamers. They
I
were
think
not
that's
ready.
the Rax.
You can't afford to have your Nyx get caught for free like that, and suddenly, one of the high ground they go with Aegis and Cheese in hand. This is looking like a dead bottom lane unless they can put something together. The coil is just used to try and delay things, but doesn't actually set up an initiation.
Again, they could do all of the Waning Rift that they want. They have a Necrophos healing up. Actually, Ohio's porting out because there's some ratting going on. They cancel the TP with the Yule Scepter. We might get a base race on our hands.
Gabby's got top racks. There's no point defending top anymore.
Okay, now Kyo going hard on the building right now. The Reaper Scythe does not get the kill. Looks like the Shrine Juice is going to be back, and now they are looking to make a defense. Here comes a 4-man Raining Rift. They will lose the building. Here comes Gabby back in the fight. He has Eclipse available, and now that is a lot of blood right on the ground. Kyo will go down. That is going to be Zajas, but here comes the Eclipse. Febby in a lot of trouble, but Gabby perhaps a little bit more. Guarding Angel and a hook back in. Febby throws his life away, trying to actually kill Gabby. Gabby life stealing a little bit, getting his glaive bounce around. He will go down. Boomback comes back alive with the burrow form, but I think it's perhaps a little bit too late. Buyback on Armel, and they have buyback on the Luna if they want to use it. Boomback walks forward, gets off a spike thanks to the Radiance Burn. Kyo might actually go down, and Coil is going to keep him alive, keep him chunked in as well. We do have Ursa popping the BKB, getting the 1 kill. Now looking at Rappy. Rappy trying to keep himself alive, not going to be able to do so. Ajit clings him down. Lots of buyback still available here. There is going to be a root flying about to the Puck. Puck needs to play with some magic. Again, 4 buybacks, not going to use any of it because there's no point.
Yeah.
And I think
unless they go for top lane.
Yeah. And they won't. So
the downside of all that happened, I think the Rax trade is fine. It's the fact they take a big fight and then lose so many heroes. That really, I think, dents any kind of item progression for heroes like
But still, look at the gold. It's a 3k net worth lead for Fnatic.
That is impressive how close this game remains in terms of items. It feels like it should be like a 10 to 15k gold lead with how... Like the kills, you're up almost 20 kills, you're up a lane of racks, and the gold lead is almost next to nothing. Yeah.
Look, no matter how this game goes, I feel like if both these teams played this same draft 10 times, it would not surprise me if it's like a 5-5. Like, it is so even in terms of the strategy being executed, the way that they decide to take the game. And to me, this is one of the most interesting game because of that. Like, it's such a different strategy.
Well, it's great because like it's not like there's two different, they're very different strategies, but like it's not like one counters the other. Like
it's not like a
Fnatic have a window where they win the lanes, that's what they're meant to do, win the early game and can snowball, whereas Clutch Gamers have a lineup that's meant to come back in the mid game through some great team fights and counterplays. We saw Fnatic, they dive a tower, they get too aggressive, and Clutch has punished them a few times with an Eclipse or with a really nice puck combo. So the drafts just have a very interesting way that they match up.
Right. So I think earlier after Fnatic took the mid racks, I was kind of asking you like, is this enough of an advantage? I think at that point it wasn't clear to say, but I think now with 2 racks is up, you could say that Fnatic is just the victory is within the grasp.
It's 2 racks to 1. It's not like you're up full 2 racks considering you've lost a lane, but you are closer to Mega Crimps, which is theoretically GG.
Well, I mean, the number of racks is still the same as before, but the fact that now it's Clutch Gamer having more lanes to worry about.
Okay.
And Armel can't be outside the base as more like for example, one thing Armel can do if they haven't lost any Raxes, he could be here and just like cut that wave off indefinitely.
Yep.
But I don't think he can do that now.
He's one of 2 heroes that can push lanes out, so he may have to be constantly pushing up mid and bottom. Perhaps a limitation of not having like an Omni Knight who's not really great at pushing out lanes. Same for like the Rubik, the Nyx.
Oh.
Smoke up. Where are they
They
headed?
pop double smoke on Clutch Gamer, so if they fail this smoke gang...
They're going to be running low. This is an illusion though. They may realize it's an illusion in a second once it starts attacking. Yeah, it becomes obvious now and they can ignore that. But there is no heroes nearby on the receiving end of this one. I like that Q is running around, Radiant's turned off. Not going to get caught by a Carapace.
Oh, that's very smart.
Initiation.
Yeah.
I mean, he died when on the retreat almost, I want to say entirely because of that. Carapace into Impale plus a Puck or plus Waning Rift. He was even Blood Rage maybe at the time.
I wonder if there's just like a better item instead of Radiance that he could have got this game.
I think there might have been, but at the same time, like, you want to stick to that comfort build. He knows how this build plays out. He knows like the timings of it, when he's strong, when he's weak, but definitely feels like it may have not been the best build this game.
I mean, a crazy suggestion. If you're going to do suicide push like these, like Necro 3 would have been... Or is that a little bit...
Yeah, I would personally shut that idea down. That just sounds like a game-losing build in my mind.
Okay, well,
I mean, I don't know.
All right, here we go. We're going to see a fight happening. Kyo losing half his HP instantly.
He could have gone for like maybe another pipe himself or something.
Sure. Triple pipe, first time in Dota history ever, I guess. And here we go. Like, if you're Fnatic, there's no rush.
Yep.
Mid is streaming in, bottom is gonna get in there as well. You got quote-unquote region up the wazoo with Witch Doctor and Ohio's heal, so just wait it out, you know.
Last time we saw the Manta from Kyo, may see that just to start illusion, chipping at the buildings. Possibility. But Nyx is gonna set up camp, and I think for Fnatic, it's like, let's just maintain position up here. We don't have to commit to a high ground push. Eventually, Roche will respawn. But while we're waiting, we may as well keep Clutch Gamers in this top lane, because while keeping them top, mid lane and bottom lane are going to gradually inch closer and closer to Clutch Gamers' high ground. And that's where securing Roche becomes very easy. Yeah, you can see Kyo drawing lines like, hey, look at mid and bottom. I don't think he's even telling his team, go push these lanes. He's saying these lanes are pushing. That's an issue for Clutch Gamers right now. Who is actually going to defend? If someone goes to defend, maybe then you do engage. That's when Febby can hookshot in, start a fight.
Well, Boomback's in the front right now. Okay, they do land a stun on Kyo, 4-staff in. Okay, maybe they do get a kill here. Here comes Initiation, Fly Solo dies immediately. Reaper Scythe does not get the kill. Rappy's still alive right now. Kyo will go down. Febby gets a 2-man cog, pretty good stuff. Here comes a Guardian Angel, but Agabi is not caught in that Guardian Angel. Jit just assassinates him in the backline. He does have buyback, does not want to use it. He's confident that his team could hold it, and he might be correct here. Ohio out of mana at this point. Armel does not give chase. At the end of the day here is a 2-for-2 trade.
Time for Fnatic to back off.
Yeah, that's good enough here. Cool,
good
calm,
enough.
And collected.
Still not like a win or anything. Like, they hold their high ground. That's theoretically the easier hold. The tougher one's going to come if Aegis and Cheese are picked up.
Right, which, hey, it's up now.
But I mean, that's how that's like the formula for success. Chip away, like not even chip, just chunk at Kyo's Bloodseeker before he pops his BKB. He just got chain stunned and melted. Force Clockwork doesn't want to initiate, but he has to because his Ursa is, I mean, his Bloodseeker is dead if he doesn't. Turns out his Bloodseeker was still dead regardless, but
yeah.
You know, Fnatic's game plan there, you could see by like the lines being drawn mid and bottom, they did not want to fight. They just wanted to slow siege high ground and not take a fight, buy time for Roche.
They just caught sight of Boomback and hooked nicely. Dodge. Oh no.
Yikes.
Fly Solo.
Gets a ward up, but
alright.
You know,
He's gonna go
prize.
How is he still alive?
Sure. Roche set up by the pick-off and probably also just by the general map control. You have mid lane, bottom lane pushing out. This was likely going to be a easy to claim Roshan regardless for Fnatic. See where they put the... I imagine Kyo, yeah, Kyo has to take the Aegis. Cheese may actually go to a high... He keeps getting mana burned. I think it's actually tough for him to deal with. Limits his ability to use Reaper in some of these fights.
Sure, especially when you start off the fight like with Scythe, and when you don't get the kill with Reaper, you're done, right? So I do want to bring the point to the next one, which is somehow, some way, Fly Solo, despite all of his heroic play, has got himself to a Glimmer Cape. We're looking at only a level 2 no fuel right now with Glimmer Cape. That's enough to guarantee that the Scythe does not get a kill. So
Fnatic trying to do something sneaky. They showed Kyo top pushing the lane, but they are right outside the Radiant base looking for pickoffs. They've got great ward coverage around the area. Boombacks has been spotted. Can they jump him?
Boy. Where's the 4 staffs?
They need it soon. He's got a Yule Scepter. He uses it aggressively and forced to the high ground.
He's back in.
That was a scary moment. Necro could not get close enough for a Reaper, it looks like. He does not have a Blink or a Force Staff.
And I like that play a lot. That was kind of like, hey, if we get a Reaper kill here, we almost win the game. And if we don't, it's
I think they
very
actually
low cost.
do win the game. With Nyx having no buyback, he's a key defender for Clutch Gamers.
All right. Boomback, get comfortable in that spot. Burrow down and do your thing.
Reposition around mid. Kuo, what is happening? This is the game plan we saw at top lane. Burst down Kuo. Nyx comes out on Nyx. Uh-oh, that's a key hero.
Nope. Yeah, he is repelled. He's going to use himself to dodge one of
He's
that.
ruptured though. He still could be in a tough spot here.
BKB is running out for Kuo. He breaks the link and the pair will not hit. They can just, again, front load everything onto him. And I think Fnatic have to back off. They need to wait for BKB.
They're going to look to chase. Ohio's not the best target to perhaps go in and Arjit. He actually is ready to engage.
Oh, he does not make it up the hill. We'll get, okay, repel.
Tommy's got his back.
All right. That's a 2-man spike coming out here. 3-man coil. They're going to fight this. Gabby does not have a clip because he has his silence turned on. And now Reaper Scythe coming through does not get the kill. Guarding the Angel. And here we go. Where's the ultimate? It's not going to do enough damage here. And now Rappy very low. Rappy's going to go down. QO with maximum movement speed at this point. Walking around looking for kills. Clockwork Cook not going to do enough. But 2 already dead. Make that 3. Puck needs to buy back right now here. Luna only at half HP as well. And now it's time to actually go for the tier 3s.
Fnatic, they can get this last line of frags. They should be able to secure the game. And with just 3 heroes left, living. I don't know if Clutch Gamers can actually hold this one. Urso be a great target to go, but he's got BKB still. He's just going to burst down Boombacks.
Yeah, they got the rupture again.
Here, Nixon.
Gabby.
This looks like the end.
Yeah, this is the end here. Buildings all go down.
Great play from Fnatic this time. They did struggle a bit pushing high ground. We saw how quickly Bloodseeker can be burst down, but that's always the nature of these Fnatic drafts. They're not drafting for the high ground push, they're drafting for the lane dominance, the hero killing prowess.
Yep.
And they do excel in that area. While Kuo did die a few times from the burst damage in the teamfight of Clutch Gamers, ultimately his deaths were not in vain.
I really love the way that Ohio itemized his Necrofalls, especially with the Scythe pickup. I mean, I think a lot of players would have just finished the Shiva's guard that he had to play Mel for. But I think the Scythe in particular just added one more wrinkle of spells that they need to protect. That
had to throw a repel maybe when at a time he didn't want to use it.
Exactly. Like he was so pressured to do so much. So very nicely done here by Ohio and the rest.